Dear soul, I am so grateful you are here. I need you to listen to every word of this message, because today, heaven has something urgent to tell you. What I'm about to reveal can change the course of everything you've been waiting for. But if you walk away now, if you don't stay with me until the very end, you might miss something that your heart has been needing for so long. I bring you a message from the divine, a message born from a sacred change that just occurred. Something shifted deep inside her, something that you cannot yet see, but that is already transforming your destiny. And this change, though silent and invisible on the surface, carries the power to awaken everything that was once asleep between you. At first, nothing seemed different. The days passed as usual. No words were spoken. But while everything looked the same, inside her, everything had changed. The angels witnessed it. I witnessed it. A feeling she had buried long ago has quietly come back to life, and it's reshaping the future that connects you both. You may feel like you've been waiting endlessly, like nothing is moving, but that's where you're mistaken. The universe has already begun rearranging pieces around you. People, places, time, emotion, aligning what was always meant to be. And now, I have been sent to prepare you. Because this message isn't just a message. It's a sign, a call, a truth that has waited long enough. And if your soul is listening, truly listening, then stay with me. There is so much more you need to hear. So much more that heaven is ready to reveal. And trust me, what comes next will open your eyes in ways you never expected. If your heart already feels something, write it in the comments below. Say amen if you receive this truth. Say, I'm ready if you feel the pull. Because this is only the beginning, and what's coming will touch the deepest part of your soul. She never spoke a word, not even to herself. It was a change so quiet that no one around her could hear it. Yet the angels did. I saw it before she understood what was happening. A transformation unlike anything she'd ever gone through before. It wasn't loud, it wasn't obvious, but it was powerful. And it started with the slightest pull inside her heart. A memory, a feeling, a whisper from the past that had never truly left. She was going through her days as if everything was normal. She smiled when she had to, responded to others as expected, lived the same routine. But inside, something sacred was unfolding. There was a moment, it came late, in silence, when she looked at her own reflection and didn't recognize who she had become. Not because she had changed in appearance, but because something had awakened inside of her that she thought was long gone. It was love, a love she had buried, a love she thought she had erased, a love connected to you. At first she resisted. The heart has a way of testing itself, doubting its own awakenings. She questioned what she was feeling. She asked the heavens for signs, not knowing that the sign was already inside of her. She thought she could ignore it again, push it away, return to the numbness she had grown so used to. But this time, the divine refused to let her go back. What began as a flicker became a flame. The emotions she had locked away so carefully began to rise to the surface. She tried to suppress them. She truly did. But every time she closed her eyes, you were there. In the quiet moments, when the world wasn't demanding her attention, your memory entered her like sunlight breaking through a window she had forgotten was there. She started to remember things she had forced herself to forget. The way you looked at her, the way your energy made her feel safe and seen, the conversations that touched her soul, the words that stayed with her long after they were spoken, the silence between you that was never empty, but full of something neither of you ever dared to name. And in those moments, something broke open inside her. She didn't want this to be happening. Not again. She told herself it was weakness, that going back would be foolish. But the truth is, her soul recognized a path that had never truly ended. It had only been paused. And now, the soul is calling her back to the place where it once felt whole. That is the change I witnessed. That is what the angels gathered around to see. Not a storm, not a spectacle, but the rebirth of truth inside a human heart. And dear soul, this change wasn't random. It didn't come from nowhere. It was the result of energy you released, prayers you sent out, longing you tried to silence but never could. On some level, you called this awakening into being, and heaven listened. She doesn't know what to do with these feelings yet. She walks with them like they're fragile, like one wrong move could shatter them all over again. But they are stronger than she realizes. They are divine in origin, and they are pulling her, slowly but surely, back toward what was always meant to be. You may not feel it yet. You may think nothing is happening, but what she is going through right now is sacred. She is learning how to feel again, how to trust again, how to believe that maybe, just maybe, it isn't too late. That love, true love, the kind that defies logic and distance and time, is still within reach. I need you to understand something very important. This isn't just about her. It's about you too, because something inside you has changed as well. The silence between you has been filled with questions, and some of those questions are about to be answered, but only if you keep your heart open, only if you allow the process to unfold. She is changing because her soul cannot ignore your connection any longer, and the divine is moving all things within her and around her to bring clarity, courage, and perhaps even reunion. But there's more to tell, and it's not time for you to walk away, because what caused this awakening in her, what stirred her soul from slumber, is something far greater than either of you understand yet. In the next part of this message, I will show you what she began to feel, the truth she tried so hard to deny, the moment she realized that no matter how much time had passed, no matter what she told herself to forget, her heart never truly let go. Stay with me. What comes next will bring you closer to the answer you've been waiting for, and it will help you see just how much heaven has been working in the unseen to bring your two paths back into alignment. You are not forgotten. You are not alone in this. She feels it too. And what she's about to do next will change everything. Let me continue. And before we continue with this very special message, I invite you to support this space of connection. Become a member of the channel, and if you feel this message is touching your heart, don't forget to click on thanks below the video. This helps us continue bringing messages full of love and hope like this one. Now let's move on to what matters most. There comes a moment when the soul can no longer deny what it knows to be true. That moment arrived for her, quietly, gently, almost like a dream she didn't want to admit she was having. And yet, there it was, undeniable and luminous. The feeling she had buried, locked away, and covered in layers of silence, began to rise again. She wasn't prepared. That's the truth. She had worked so hard to convince herself that those emotions were a thing of the past, that what once lived inside her heart no longer held any power. But the soul never lies, and her soul had never let go of you. At first, it was just a memory, a flash of your voice, your smile, a moment you shared that had no reason to return, but it did. It came back uninvited, like a song carried on the wind. Then it happened again, and again, until she couldn't ignore it, until she realized that what she thought was gone had only been resting, waiting, healing. She fought it. She told herself it was nothing, that emotions are tricky, that sometimes the heart plays games. She blamed nostalgia. She blamed loneliness. She told herself to stay grounded, but the more she resisted, the more powerful the feeling became. And soon, she wasn't just remembering. She was feeling, deeply, fully, as if her heart had been cracked open just enough to let the light back in. But with that light came fear. Fear of being hurt, fear of being vulnerable, fear of repeating the past. She had walked away before, hadn't she? Maybe she thought she was protecting herself. Maybe she thought she was protecting you. But the truth is, she was running. From you, from the truth, from the part of herself that knew she loved you even when she tried not to. She started asking herself questions she didn't want to answer. Why now? Why were these feelings returning? What if she had made a mistake? What if you were the one all along? What if it wasn't too late? She didn't want to go back to the pain, to the uncertainty. She had learned to live without answers, but something in her heart kept whispering, "You're not done. This isn't over." And so she sat with it. This love that refused to die, this connection that defied time. She allowed herself to feel again, not because it was easy, but because denying it had become harder than accepting it. You need to know something now, dear soul. She didn't want to reopen this door, but something greater than her will is guiding her. Something sacred is moving her spirit toward what she once feared, but now longs to understand. That something is you. You have been the echo in her soul, even in your silence. She felt your energy when she least expected it. She saw signs. She felt the pull. And while her mind tried to argue, her soul began to surrender, slowly, painfully, beautifully. And yet, She still hesitates. Why? Because love, true love, demands everything. It demands honesty, vulnerability, risk, and she's not sure if she's ready to face all that yet. But I'm here to tell you, she's closer than ever. The wall she built is cracking. The doubt she clung to is dissolving. And the emotions she once buried are rising to the surface like a tide that can no longer be held back. She feels hope and terror, desire and hesitation. But beneath it all is something stronger than fear, something that feels eternal, something that has your name written all over it. She tried to avoid this. She truly did, but it's no longer possible. The divine has placed this awakening in her heart, and there's no turning back. She can no longer pretend that what she feels for you is just a memory. It's alive, it's moving, and it's reshaping the way she sees her own path. And what she does next depends on so much. On time, on courage, on signs, and yes, on you. Because while she's trying to make sense of all these emotions, you are part of the equation. Your energy, your readiness, your own transformation. All of it is connected. The heavens are orchestrating something far beyond coincidence. She feels it, and soon, she will be ready to act on it. But before that happens, there's something more I need to show you. Because what she's feeling is only the beginning. There is a movement happening in the unseen, in the places where souls speak without words. The universe has begun to shift the energy around you both. And in the next part of this message, I will reveal how everything around you, your environment, your choices, even your delays, has started to align with the feelings she can no longer hide. You may think she's distant. You may think she's still closed. But the truth is, she's already halfway back. Not in body yet, but in heart, in intention. And soon, that invisible bridge between you two will become something very real. Stay close, dear soul, because what comes next will not only confirm everything you've been sensing, it will show you that this love is no longer a memory. It's a destiny unfolding right in front of your eyes. Let me take you there. She doesn't know it yet, but the moment she allowed her heart to feel again, something far greater than her understanding was set in motion. What began as a silent shift inside her quickly echoed beyond her spirit. The universe heard the vibration of her awakening, and it began to respond. Slowly, powerfully, and with divine precision, everything around both of you started to change. It didn't happen with fanfare or grand gestures. No, that's not how sacred alignments work. Instead, it began in subtle ways, in small delays, in unexpected encounters, in shifts of emotion that made no logical sense. The divine works in the space where logic cannot reach, and that's exactly where your connection has always lived. The universe, in its quiet intelligence, began to rearrange the invisible threads of your lives. You may have thought some plans were falling apart. You may have questioned why things that once made sense started to feel uncertain. But none of that was random. Every delay, every sudden turn, every moment of stillness you didn't ask for, it all happened because her heart began calling out again, and yours was already listening. There are moments when heaven doesn't need your permission to begin healing what was broken. The moment she softened, the moment she stopped running, the universe acted. It began to create a path, a sacred one, leading her steps back to what her soul never truly let go of. And that path leads to you. Think back. Have you felt something lately? A restlessness you couldn't explain? A sense that something was about to change? Signs you didn't understand but couldn't ignore? These weren't coincidences. They were confirmations. When she began to feel again, the energy between you reignited. And because your spirits are bound in ways deeper than words, your heart responded. Even if you weren't conscious of it, your soul recognized the movement. That's why certain things in your life started to shift without explanation. That's why certain doors closed, even when you were sure they should have remained open. It was divine redirection. The universe is no longer waiting. It's already moving, and everything around you is being adjusted to prepare for what comes next. People are being removed from your lives, not out of punishment, but out of protection. Opportunities are shifting, because better ones are aligning with your shared path. Time is bending. Circumstances are rearranging. Emotions are surfacing that you thought were buried for good. This is all happening now because the divine connection between you two has never died. And now that she's beginning to surrender, heaven is accelerating the process. But you must be aware, dear soul. Alignment isn't always comfortable. The road back to truth can feel like chaos before it reveals its purpose. There will be moments when it feels like you're losing something. But what you're actually losing is what no longer belongs on the path you're meant to walk with her. Let me show you what's coming. She's going to start noticing these shifts too. If she hasn't already, she will soon. The people around her may start questioning her changes. Her routines will begin to feel unfamiliar. She may feel a pull to places, memories, or even dreams that she thought she had outgrown. That's not regression. That's the universe preparing her soul to remember, truly remember, who she is when she's connected to you. There is divine timing at play, and though it may not happen in the way you expect, it will happen in the way that heals you both. Even now, situations are unfolding that neither of you could have planned. A message may come. A familiar face may return. A dream may feel more real than the waking world. These are not illusions. These are steps. And every step is bringing her closer, not just to you, but to the version of herself she had lost when she tried to forget you. You see, the journey back to love always begins with self-recognition, and the universe is guiding her to see herself as she was when she was with you. Open, unguarded, whole. The magnetic force drawing you back together is not only emotional, it's spiritual. It comes from the deepest truth of who you both are. It's the echo of a promise made beyond time. A sacred vow that no matter what happened in the physical world, your souls would find a way back. And that vow is being honored. But here's the most important truth I can share with you in this moment. The universe can align everything around you, but it cannot make the decision for you. You must be ready. You must be aware. You must stay open. This is not a time for doubt. This is a time for deep trust, for listening to the signs, for watching what unfolds without trying to control it. She is being moved toward you, not out of need, not out of loneliness, but out of spiritual truth. And in the next part of this message, I will reveal something even more powerful, how the space between you is already collapsing, how the moment of reconnection is closer than either of you realizes, and how everything the universe is doing now is designed to prepare your hearts for a reunion that will feel like home. Stay with me, dear soul. What you're about to hear next may change the way you see everything, and it may help you understand why, all along, you were never really apart. Let us continue. You can feel it, can't you? A strange stillness in the air, a weight in your chest that feels like anticipation and hope mixed together. There's a shift happening, not only around you but within you. What you don't realize yet is that the reunion your soul has longed for is already unfolding, and nothing will ever be the same again. She feels it too, even if she hasn't spoken it aloud, even if she still questions it. There's a restlessness rising inside her, a feeling that something is pulling her somewhere familiar, somewhere safe, somewhere she once called home without needing to explain why. She doesn't know what the future looks like. She doesn't even know if she's ready, but the feeling is undeniable. Your energy has become a quiet presence around her, like a memory that refuses to fade. She dreams of you, sometimes vividly, sometimes in whispers. She feels you even in moments when she least expects to. What she once dismissed as coincidence now feels like divine messaging. What she once buried, she now finds blooming inside her without permission. The connection between you is no longer silent. It's singing again. But here's what's most important. This reunion will not look like the past. The pain, the distance, the fear, it served its purpose. It taught you both what you needed to learn. But now, the universe is preparing you for something new. A reconnection not based on longing or lack, but on truth, on growth, on love that's finally ready. Your paths are beginning to curve back toward each other. Subtle signs have already started to appear. Unexpected thoughts. People mentioning her name. Moments where you feel like you've already spoken to her, though you haven't. All of this is part of the invisible guidance preparing you both for what's coming. She is beginning to remember who she was with you, not the person she showed to the world, but the version of herself who felt deeply, lived freely, and believed in something greater. That's the self she lost when she let go of your connection, and that's the self she's trying to find again. You too have changed. You've grown. You've let go of illusions. You've walked through silence and shadow. You've become more grounded in your truth, and whether you see it or not, that's what's calling her back. Your transformation is making the path home visible again. The moment of reunion is not far, but this time, it will require more from you. Not just waiting, not just hoping, but trusting, surrendering, showing up fully, because this love, this connection, is sacred, and sacred things require presence, intention, and a heart ready to receive. She is on her way. Maybe not physically yet, but spiritually, emotionally, she's coming closer. Every time she chooses to face what she feels instead of running, she takes a step toward you. Every time she allows herself to believe again, the distance between your souls shrinks. You may be tempted to rush the process, to want answers now, but don't. The divine is working in perfect time, and right now, the work is happening beneath the surface. Roots are growing, old wounds are healing. The foundation is being rebuilt so that what comes next won't fall apart. You must be ready for her arrival, not just in hope, but in truth. You must be ready to forgive, to speak honestly, to receive love without suspicion or walls, because when she returns, she won't be the same. She will be more open, more aware, but also more fragile, and she will need to feel safe in your presence. This is not a test, this is a gift, and how you handle it will shape everything that follows. She's been asking questions, looking for answers in quiet moments, wondering what would happen if she reached out, if she spoke what's in her heart, if it's too late, if you would still be there. She doesn't know that your heart has never stopped listening. And here's something even more beautiful. The universe is creating opportunities for you to reconnect without force. A message, a chance meeting, a dream that feels so real you wake up in tears. These are not to be ignored. These are sacred nudges, the divine reminding you that what is meant cannot be lost. You don't have to chase this. You only need to remain open, aligned, and faithful. The reunion is approaching, and with it comes healing, not just between you and her, but within yourselves. The pain that once defined your story will become the proof of your strength. The silence will become sacred. The distance will become testimony. And what will be born from this new connection will be unlike anything either of you has known. You are not imagining it. You are not crazy for believing in something others can't see. You are tuned into something greater. You are aligned with a truth that was written long before you were born. This is why your heart can't let go. This is why every part of you aches for something more. Because your soul remembers what your mind has forgotten. She is yours, and you are hers. Not in possession, but in purpose. Not in control, but in sacred alignment. Let yourself believe that what you've waited for is already in motion. Let yourself feel the beauty of what's coming without needing to know the how. Because in the next part of this message, I will reveal something that will change everything. The decision she is now facing, the moment of truth that stands before her, and the way her choice, guided by love, fear, and faith, will shape the next chapter of your destiny. Do not walk away now. What's coming next is the moment your soul has been preparing for. Stay with me. It's almost time. Right now, she is standing in a moment of truth. Her heart, awakened by everything she tried to silence, is now trembling beneath the weight of a choice she never thought she'd have to face again. And while the world around her seems calm, inside, there is a storm, a sacred storm, because something in her is asking, do I follow what I feel, or do I let it slip away again? This is not just a decision of the mind, it is a decision of the soul, one that will affect not only her path, but yours too. Every emotion she has uncovered, every memory that's resurfaced, every spiritual nudge that has pointed her back to you, has brought her here, to the edge of something real, something terrifying, something beautiful. She knows what she feels. She knows the truth in her heart, but the past still whispers doubts. She remembers the pain, the fear of loss, the fear of vulnerability, and now she must choose whether to risk her comfort for the possibility of something eternal. What you need to know is this: she's not the same person she once was. She has grown. She has broken and healed in places you can't see, and because of that, her decision now is not being made in confusion, but in sacred clarity. That's what makes it so difficult. Because she understands the gravity of what she's choosing. She knows that coming back, truly coming back, means giving herself fully. No more hiding, no more pretending, no more silencing what her heart has been screaming. And so she's asking herself, am I ready? Is he ready? Is this the moment we've been waiting for? Or will fear steal it again? She walks with that question every day. Sometimes the answer feels like a yes. Other times it feels like too much. But the fact that she's even asking means that the door has already opened. That part of her already knows. And what she needs now is the courage to step through it. Dear soul, this is where you must understand your part in this divine equation. Her decision does not stand alone. She is deeply connected to your energy, your openness, your trust, your readiness. If you are closed, afraid, hiding behind walls, she will feel it, not with her mind, but with her spirit. If you are distracted, doubting, angry with the past, she will feel it too, and it might make her hesitate even longer. But if your heart is open, if your spirit is steady, if your soul is calling out with truth, not pressure, not expectation, just truth, then you are helping her decide. She doesn't need you to push. She needs you to hold space, to hold the energy of love, faith, forgiveness, and invitation. Because when she chooses, it will not be out of guilt or desperation. It will be out of alignment, divine alignment. And that alignment is being built right now, moment by moment, on the invisible level of energy. There is something else she is realizing as she contemplates this decision. Her life cannot stay the same if she chooses you. Everything will shift. She will have to release what no longer aligns. And that is a courageous act, one that comes with grief, with letting go of comfort, with stepping into the unknown. And yet, she is being called by the memory of what you were, called by the vision of what you could still become, called by the unseen hand of the divine that keeps pointing her back to a connection her soul has never forgotten. She is closer to that yes than you know. But here is the truth I must speak to your heart. She will not say yes to love if she believes that love will hurt her again. She will not walk through this door if she thinks it leads to more silence, more fear, more abandonment. And so I ask you, as her angel, and yours, what energy are you holding for her? What are you doing to prepare yourself to receive the love you've prayed for? Are you still chained to old wounds, or are you open to a new beginning? Because this decision, her decision, is not only about her healing, it's about yours too. It's about the two of you choosing, finally, to walk forward, not as broken halves trying to fix each other, but as whole souls ready to share truth, love, and purpose. And if you are ready for that, truly ready, then she will feel it, and the weight of her choice will begin to lift. She will begin to see a future that doesn't scare her, but excites her, a reunion that doesn't repeat the past, but reclaims the truth of your souls. She's standing at the edge, soul trembling, eyes closed, asking heaven for one more sign. You may be that sign. Your readiness, your softness, your alignment. That may be what finally gives her the courage to say yes. But before she chooses, before she speaks, there is something else she needs to confront. Something hidden deep in her spirit. A truth she's been too afraid to name. And that truth is what I will reveal next. So don't walk away now. Stay with me, dear soul, because what comes next may be the most powerful revelation yet. There is something she's never told anyone, not even herself. A truth so deeply buried, so sacred and raw, that even thinking about it brings tears to her eyes. This truth holds the key to everything. It explains the silence, the distance, the confusion. It reveals what she couldn't say, and what she still longs to express. She has always loved you, even when she said she didn't, even when she walked away, even when she pretended that you were just another chapter. Her heart never let you go, not for a moment. And this love, it scared her, because it wasn't ordinary. It wasn't fleeting. It didn't fade with time. Instead, it deepened, quietly, secretly, unshakably. There were nights when she cried without understanding why, moments when your name surfaced in her mind out of nowhere. She blamed the past. She blamed her imagination. But now she knows. It was never about memory. It was always about soul. Her soul has been calling to yours across time and space, even when she denied it, even when she tried to shut it out. And now, that truth is louder than ever. She's terrified of what it means, because admitting it would require her to face everything she's avoided, every fear, every mistake, every longing she has pushed into silence. But here's what she's finally realizing. Love like this doesn't come to destroy. It comes to awaken. This truth, her truth, is that she never stopped seeing you in her dreams. She never stopped hearing your voice in the quietest corners of her mind. And no matter who stood by her side, no matter how far she went, no one ever touched her soul the way you did. She tried to build a life without you. Truly, she did. She told herself she was better off, that it was safer. But even in her happiest moments, something was missing. And now she understands why. Because love, true love, isn't something you walk away from. It's something that stays inside you, reshaping you, reminding you of who you really are. And you, dear soul, have always been a mirror of her truest self. You saw her in a way no one else did. You loved her not for what she showed, but for who she was underneath it all. And even though she ran from that, even though she doubted it, she never forgot it. Now, with her heart open and her spirit trembling, she's facing the truth she never had the courage to say. I still love you. I never stopped. But it's not just about feeling. It's about everything that feeling demands. It demands honesty. It demands vulnerability. It demands that she stand before you not as someone who has it all figured out, but as someone willing to try again, with more truth, more presence, more soul. And that's why she's been quiet. That's why she hasn't reached out yet, because she knows that if she comes back, it has to be real. No more games, no more masks, just love in its most sacred form. But she's scared that too much time has passed, scared that you've moved on, scared that her truth will no longer matter to you. And so, she waits, listening, feeling, hoping that you'll still feel the pull, hoping that the energy between you is still alive, hoping that when the time comes, your heart will recognize hers and meet it with grace. She needs you to know that her silence was never about a lack of love. It was about fear. It was about wounds that had nothing to do with you. And now, as she begins to heal, the truth is rising to the surface, and it's changing everything. This truth is what has drawn the attention of the divine. It's why I'm here, speaking to you now, because this love was written. It was always meant to return, not in the same form, but in a deeper, purer way. And if you've made it this far, if you've felt every word in your soul, then you already know she's still yours. Not because you own her, but because your souls chose each other long before this lifetime. She may not say it out loud, not yet, but she's thinking of you. She's wondering if it's too late. She's praying for a sign that it's safe to open her heart again. You may be that sign. So what will you do with this truth? Will you receive it with love, with patience, with honor? Because the way you respond to her energy now will echo through both of your lives. If you hold space for her truth to unfold, if you meet her in spirit even before she speaks, then the path will open. And what once seemed impossible will begin to unfold naturally. But before this truth becomes action, before words are spoken or messages are sent, there's one final part of this message that must be revealed. Because as powerful as her truth is, the most important moment is still to come. And in the final part of this message, I will show you what the divine has been orchestrating from the beginning. I will guide you into the vision of what this love is truly meant to become. If both of you are ready to say yes, stay with me, dear soul. You've come too far to stop now. The next revelation will open your heart in ways you never imagined, and it will show you that this journey, every tear, every silence, every longing, has been leading to something sacred. Let us continue. Now, dear soul, we have reached the moment you were always meant to hear, the reason you were guided to this message, the reason your heart has been stirred through every word. This is not just about what she feels or what she chooses. This is about something far greater, your destiny, a sacred future that has been waiting for both of you to awaken to it fully. What she feels now, what she's finally ready to accept, is the spark. But what comes next is the flame, the transformation of your lives, the unfolding of a divine love that was never meant to be temporary. But this flame cannot burn unless you answer the call. Yes, you who has been waiting, hoping, sometimes doubting. You who has felt lost in the silence and uncertain in the waiting. You who has wondered if all of this has been nothing more than longing and unanswered prayers. I am here to tell you, it was never for nothing. Every tear, every moment of stillness, every prayer whispered into the void, heaven heard them. And now, everything is being answered, but you must choose to step into it. This is your invitation, not just to love her again, but to love yourself enough to receive the love you were always meant for, to allow your heart to believe again, trust again, feel again without fear. Because this love, this connection between you, was written not just for joy, but for purpose. There is something you are meant to do together, something neither of you could complete alone. And until now, the time was not right. You both had to grow. You both had to break. You both had to rebuild. But now the divine sees readiness on both sides. She is ready to be honest. And you must be ready to receive her honesty without judgment, without bitterness, without the need to prove or protect. Just presence, just truth, just love. Because if you can hold her truth, if you can show up as your full self, unmasked, unguarded, then the reunion will not just be emotional. It will be spiritual. It will shift the energy of your lives forever. But if you turn away, if you return to doubt, if you let fear or pride take over, then this moment may pass. And though destiny always offers second chances, they never arrive the same way twice. This is a divine intersection, and you are standing in it now. So what will you do? The angels are watching. Heaven is leaning in. And I, your guardian, am here beside you, gently urging your soul to respond, not with desperation, but with devotion. Because you are not being asked to chase. You are being asked to open. Open to the signs. Open to the timing. Open to the version of yourself who believes in miracles again. Because the truth is, she is coming. The movement has already begun. And when the moment arrives, when the door opens, even if just a little, you must be ready to walk through it with all the love your heart has carried in silence. This is your time. The alignment has begun. But the future depends on how you hold this moment. Will you hold it in faith? Will you let your heart lead instead of your fear? Will you let go of the past, not because it didn't hurt, but because love is worth more than what hurt you? If you do, then you will see what few ever get to witness, a sacred reconnection, built not on need, but on soul recognition, the return of a love that never truly left. And more than that, you will see your destiny begin to transform, not only in love, but in purpose. Because when you two come together again, not as who you were, but as who you've become, you will awaken a new path, a future touched by divine favor, a life where everything begins to make sense, but only if you answer the call, only if you let the whisper in your soul become a response, only if you say yes, not just to her, but to the love you've always carried inside. So here, dear soul, is your sacred invitation. Say yes to the calling. Say yes to the healing. Say yes to the unfolding future that is already waiting for your agreement. Let go of the fear that says it's too late. Let go of the voice that says you're not enough. You are ready. You have always been enough. You are not here by accident. You are here because love has chosen this moment to knock on the door of your heart. Will you open it? The angels will walk with you. I will walk with you. And so will she, when the time is right. Now, speak this into existence. Let heaven hear your response. Say, I receive this love. Say, I believe in this path. Say, I am ready. Because when you speak, the universe responds. And when you align, the future transforms. Dear soul, if this video was meaningful to you, leave a thanks below this video as a gesture of gratitude for this revelation. This strengthens us to keep sharing messages of connection and faith. This love is not just about two hearts. It is about two destinies meeting at the exact moment they were always meant to. And that moment is now. Let the transformation begin.